How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Home Repairs Help and the Everyday Home Repairs channel. We're in the middle of October 2022, and I have 3 questions that came in from our audience this week that hopefully will help many more of you. So before we get to that first questions, let me show you how to submit your own questions to the Everyday Home Repairs Help channel. So you should already be on the channel if you're watching this. So I'll go to the channel, and if you look under these videos, you'll see this link right here. How can I help? Submit your questions. You just click on that and it takes you over to what's called a type form. So you can put in your first name like Bob from Kentucky, bobkentucky@gmail.com. Please use your correct email because I do want to communicate with you, and also you'll get added to our newsletter and our other updates are coming out. You can type in your problem like I have a problem with my septic system. More details the better, kind of taking time to explain that out. And very importantly, here's your chance to drag and drop or upload some pictures. Really a zoomed out picture of the situation, giving some context of what we're dealing with, and then zoomed in picture. So you can submit 10 megabytes is the max size. You press OK. Yes, I do have more. You can submit another, and you can go through that for a maximum of 5 pictures. Now that really does help, and then I take all those questions coming in, I select those that are going to be relevant to the largest audience and help the most people, and also seasonality comes into play. So if it's a pool question and we're going into the winter months, we're probably going to save that pool question until late spring going into summer months. But without further ado, let's jump into the first question coming in from Alvin from Michigan, and it's an electrical question. I have a plug, or specifically an outlet, in my kitchen on an island, and that does not work all of a sudden. How can I trace down where the problem is? So this is kind of a classic problem. You have a standard duplex or Decora series. This is a commercial duplex outlet, and all of a sudden it doesn't work, or maybe it's a new house and that outlet doesn't work. There's a few different things that you can go through. For one, just checking the circuit breaker is a classic. Make sure something's not tripped. That usually does not knock out just one outlet, right? That should be several outlets, maybe some lights, depending on how your home was wired for each of your circuits. Now, because this is in a kitchen or a wet space, quickly, most of us would go to a ground fault current interrupt or a GFCI outlet, one of the bigger boys that would look like this. You have your reset and your test buttons in the middle. Now on these outlets, you'll have a line and a load side. The line side is the power coming in. That's going to power this outlet, and then this outlet is going to have the GFCI protection. When there is a difference detected between the neutral and hot sides, that's when it's going to trip, protecting you from any ground fault. But the load side, now we can run power from this GFCI to additional outlets like a standard duplex downstream, like the one here Alvin shows on the side of his island. So it's my best guess that there is a GFCI that is tripped and needs to be reset within your kitchen that then pulls power from the load side of that GFCI over to the standard duplex. And since that GFCI is tripped, it has now knocked out the power to this outlet. That is my best guess. But if you want to dive deeper, you can go over to our Everyday Home Repairs channel. I showed this last week. If you just go over to the channel, jump in, shut off that initial video, and either go directly to the magnifying glass or the video here. Magnifying glass, let's search power. This is going to search through my entire library, which is 293 videos now. And this first one right here, why doesn't my outlet have power? That video is exactly meant for someone like you that's having an issue and kind of wants to step through from easiest to a little bit more complex. So I do recommend that video to dive deeper and if you want a little bit more explanation. Number 2, coming in from David from Tennessee, and it's a plumbing question. How do you determine when your hot water heater needs to be replaced before it springs a major leak? I have been there, and that is a very good question because if you push it too long, man, can you be paying for it out of your pocketbook and just from hassle. Let's take a look at this quick video from one of my past projects where I was basically asking myself exactly the same question. Depending on where your water heater is installed, if it's 10, 12, or 15 years old, you want to be careful and proactively change it out. Now here we have a drain pretty close and we're in kind of a dark, dingy basement, but this is an example of a 25-year-old water heater. Now I'll show you how to identify how old yours is, but this is not what you want to see, is heavy corrosion on the bottom, which could blow out at any time and then you'd have a huge mess on your hands. But you can go to your water heater right now and find your manufacturer's label, like this one, and find the serial number, and then just look online. So here I'd look at A.O. Smith, look at my serial number, and I'd find out that L indicates the month of September, and 96 indicates the year it's manufactured. So if this was installed at all near the manufacturer date, this baby is about 25 years old and desperately needs to be changed out. So that one I did change out. Now, even though that was in a basement, concrete floors, had a drain close, I had opportunity. So that was a rehab project. If it was a rental project, I was in there already. So go to a local Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, get yourself a water heater, take advantage of changing that out so you don't have a catastrophe. That one was actively leaking. That was a pretty easy decision. Now, depending on how your water heater has been serviced, has it been flushed out on a yearly basis? Does the sacrificial rod in the back, is that something you've changed out? Things that will help to extend out the life, but also it's just to do with the minerals and just your overall water quality locally. Some water is going to be more corrosive, and the life or serviceable life on a water heater in your area could be literally half as much as another state or another area where the water just simply does not have the minerals or components that are as damaging to a water heater. So it's going to depend on your area. Serviceable life, kind of 7 to 15 years around there. Past that, can it make it longer? For sure, it can. But do you want to chance it? That's going to be up to you. I would definitely be considering where is that located. If it's in a house where it's on a wood subfloor, there's no drain locally to it. If it breaks open, possibly it's going to cause more damage underneath. I would not be chancing anything. Now, if it's right next to a drain in a basement, I'm there every day monitoring it, it's not a rental or anything, okay, maybe you can push it a little bit more. But honestly, I usually like to do a little bit more preventative maintenance. Now, depending if you're doing it yourself, you usually get like a 50-gallon, 7 to 9 year warranty for around $700. Now they've went up a little bit. You might have to get some new hot and cold water lines coming in, a few other components. So you're probably looking at material costs around $725 to $750. Now, if you hire that out, depending on where that water heater is located, if it's easy to get in and out, you might be $300 to $500 in labor. If it's hard, it could be going up from there. So David, hopefully that helps, and let me know what you decide on that one. I'm interested. All right, last up, we got Al from North Carolina on an exterior topic. Question is, with the upcoming winter season, what is the best way and materials to use to refurbish outside doors to help not heat the outside? So great question, Al, and this is something that we all should be considering. And if Al from North Carolina is considering this, he's gonna be a lot warmer in the wintertime than I am in Illinois, or others that watch this channel will be as well. So weather seals around our doors, obviously looking at your windows as well, and then your garage door. So kind of keeping some drafts out of your garage as well. All of these have serviceable parts. They have seals, usually called weather seals, weather stripping, bottom seals. These are all things that do need to be serviced. So within the life of a garage door, within the life of an exterior door, you are going to need to change out these seals for them to perform properly. And like Al said, let's not be heating the outside. Let's be somewhat efficient. Specifically for an exterior door, if this was our door jamb here, we are mostly going to be using a seal that goes into what's called a kerf cut. So you can see that little groove that's cut in right there. That little groove houses this seal, and I can just pop that seal right off, which is easy to pop off and just as easy to install a new one. So you're gonna have a small spline here. That spline is gonna be pressed into the kerf cut on your door jamb, and that is gonna be the thing that holds you together. Now these are very inexpensive and they're found in just about every home improvement store. You're gonna find an entire section on this stuff. It's gonna be your door seals, it's gonna be your thresholds, it's gonna be your bottom exterior door seals, and then usually right next to it you got garage door bottom seals, you have backer rod for concrete, you have all sorts of adhesive foam for different weather stripping for windows. That's all within one section and usually a pretty good selection at any Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, or any of your big home improvement stores. Now, a few things. If your exterior door is misaligned for whatever reason, pretty much all the seals that go into kerf cut are gonna max out at a certain width that it's gonna fill. So if you have a larger gap, you're either gonna have to be going online to try to find a specialty larger seal, or you might just need to look at getting your door rehung so everything is square and appropriately installed. Additionally, if you have a door without a kerf cut, you can get things like this that have a bubble seal. This one has a 3M adhesive strip on the back. I don't love this type. I would rather have screws or nails holding this in. But you want to close your door, make it sure it's securely fastened. Hopefully there's not any wiggle in there. And then you're going to align up this bubble seal to slightly compress against that exterior door in the fully closed position. And then you'll be installing stripping at the top, on the latch side, but then also on that hinge side. Now again, I want to direct you to Everyday Home Repairs. If we go to just search for weather from the library, you're gonna see weather stripping on exterior door. Specifically, this one is for a metal door and it uses a magnet seal. So on the top and latch side are magnets, and then on the hinge side is a little bit more towards this type of seal for that application. Then I will also have a video on bottom door seals. This is also a place we can lose a lot of efficiency, whether our threshold is not in good condition or our bottom door seal are not in good conditions. Two things you need to check. And then again, we'll go into the garage door side. So I do have one on the bottom seal for your garage door as well. All right, if you guys are still around, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek here at Everyday Home Repairs. So this is our website. It has quite a few different blog articles, about 120 different blog articles on similar topics to our videos. Now, there's a few different things out here, but one is we're starting to kick off a forum. Now, this is actually going to be an area for you to ask additional questions, and specifically, this is going to have a feature that's going to help us basically crowdsource the best answer. It's going to have an upvote feature, so maybe my answer is not the best, which is not that surprising, but other people will be able to upvote. So you'll have maybe 15 different answers to your specific question, but because there's an upvote feature, the best answer is gonna quickly go to the top. So you'll see these kind of features on Reddit or other forums that are more modern forums. So we'll have that over on Everyday Home Repairs. If you want to go over there right now and kind of be a beta tester, you can technically sign up, you can add your own topics, and you can start the conversation. I have a little bit more work to do before kind of unveiling that to the larger audience. So that is it. Thanks for joining me on this one. Don't forget to submit your question. And if you want to check out that weather stripping replacement on the exterior door, click right there and that'll take you over to the Everyday Home Repairs channel where I'll run through the full process. I appreciate you guys and we'll catch you next week. Take care.